So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Well, it's boys' night out.
Hey everyone, welcome to the club. It's season 4 of the Upper 90 Club. I'm your host, Mars. We're going to kick this season off
with the tip of the hat.
Yeah.
Woo!
So many tips to go around. We got a full house. We got a round table for this podcast where we talk about the Columbus Crew, who just kicked off their 29th or 30th season. No way to know.
That's impossible.
I have heard among the people that, sorry, Trey just heard himself podcasting just while I'm talking about this, so we'll check in on that later. But anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying. Welcome to the club, guys.
Welcome to the club.
Oh, right. We had to count it out on our fingers. If you start at 96, you get to 30 at 25. Yeah. That's all.
I'm convinced there's a leap year in there, and that's why. But I also don't know how leap years work.
It's not a whole year.
Okay, so
I don't know. It's impossible.
So we had a really, really big week for us, and so we faced Chicago here at home last night. Today is Sunday, but before we talk about that, we had much fanfare at the pregame. What was it? Is it torch lighting? What? It's the toast.
They were gaslighting.
Torch lighting.
They made toast with the torch, a different toast. So and then we did our run. We did our inaugural toast and trot.
Right.
It's got a nice ring to it.
It took us forever to come up with that. Shout out, Trey. I was like,
nailed
rub and run, or like, what do we, champagne and orangutan? I don't know. I was like, it has to rhyme, or it's got to be alliteration or something.
Okay, so just real quick, before we talk about that, Trey, are you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, what happened?
I knocked something down, and then I had a kid show up, and then it was like real weird.
just all in the last 30
got
seconds.
real weird.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So with me in the club here, Ben, Mort, Trey, and Haas, say happy 4th. Sorry. I love my jokes.
You're the only one.
Yeah. Say hey, guys.
Hey.
Happy
All right,
4th.
so
Crewsmas.
So unfortunately, I was not able to make it to Columbus for Crewsmas. I did put up my 9.6K on Friday. On Friday. Yeah, it's Saturday. It was too busy for me. But how'd it go? I can't wait to hear.
It was awesome.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it. I felt good. I felt good when I got
early,
there.
Right?
Yeah, 6. I was 6 in the morning. So yeah, we get there. I mean, how many people do you think were there at the toast? There was a lot.
A couple hundred,
something like that.
200, something like that.
Yeah. So they had champagne. They had a glass. Wow, I should have got you a glass. Come to think about it. It says Crewsmas 2025.
Five.
I'll just send me yours. It's cool.
Donuts, food,
duck donuts.
People.
It was duck donuts.
Duck.
Yeah, I didn't even
donuts.
get one.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I was
too cold.
Once you have gloves on.
Yeah.
It's the glaze and the gloves for me. I can't do it.
The tale is old as time. Ducktail.
Yes, go Crew.
All right.
Yeah, it was
sounds
sweet.
Good, man.
Man, I was really debating on the flag. So I was like, I had this idea. I was like, I'm going to carry a flag like, around Columbus, because the path we took was from the stadium, out to High Street, down High Street, around Schiller Park, and then back to City Tavern, which is like right over the 670 split.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I don't know. And then the last minute, I was like, all right, cool. I brought my run pack, so I like put it on my back so it was sticking up and running. But everybody was like super pumped about it. They're like, everyone should take turns carrying it. And I was like, that sounds awesome, but also kind of sounds like it would suck. But they were all for it. All the people that came ended up taking a turn with the flag. Yeah, we should definitely shout out the people that showed up to run. I know it was early. We sent it out, and there was I know a lot of the people in the run club couldn't make it. John was there. I think Ethan was there. There was a couple other people, but shout out Ben Van Scoy from Austin, flew in, woke up early, and ran with us.
Wow.
It was, that was like the highlight of the day. I would say over the game. I was like, so he told us, and I was like, it's you. We were like hugging, like, you got it.
And then you stole your phone.
Take turns.
It was a long con, so he could steal my phone.
Yeah. I got so many text messages about like, it was from you, from your wife's phone. My phone is lost. And then turns out that Ben flew all that way just to steal your phone.
Good on him.
So, I mean, it was a good turnout. Like, we had, 8 people running? 9, because Morton ran, Ben ran, Stacy ran.
Yeah, Press was there.
It took everything in her body to, like, run that 10.5, 11 minute, just like jog. She just, you could just tell she was like 200 yards away from us, and she would just stop and look back and be like,
every street light, she would stop and wait, and then she'd run away from us.
She'd just be
and then
cold.
just stop and wait.
Like she just does. She doesn't have that pace in her. Like she can't do
You gotta
it.
like gotta check the heart rate. I bet she's like 100, 110. You know, like
hey,
she gets
kudos
madder
to,
when she stops. It like revs her up. She's like,
kudos to Haas and Trey as well for like driving by. The one of at one point they drove by, honked and waved and took pictures, and Stacy turned around like, "Did we know these people?"
like, kinda.
because I kind of waved to them. I don't know if I should have. It's like no. That was Haas's car, I think.
Yeah,
but they also have to. They took pictures on the way, and they also told us where to run because this is a learning curve. Like where
they
to
ran
run
past Schiller Park.
We ended up running.
Well, the park is back that way.
Yeah, so
you need to turn.
Well, I was following Stacy. Stacy was gone. She could have ran 100 miles and just been like, I'm just over this whole thing. But yeah, we ended up at City Tavern.
Yep.
We get there. Savannah, who runs it, was sweet enough to like open up, and it's also a Man United bar, so there was some people there watching the game. And it was like really accommodating. She like was like, hey, as soon as we came in, she's like, I am just gonna keep pumping out waters for you guys because I know you guys, so they did that, and it was such a good experience. It was such a good experience.
I felt really bad because she was like lining up all the water, and all we got was beer. Like we drank all the beer. It's like somebody want water? No, I want another beer. Yeah, that's what I want.
Nice.
Yeah, but that place was awesome. So the whole thing was just awesome. It was like such a great all around thing.
Okay. Well, yeah. So that's the first inaugural. I saw we have got 80 members now in our run club. So that's growing too. And then there's a lot of time between the toast and the game, right? Trey, you had to kind of psych yourself up, stand in the mirror, and put on your Austin kit, right? I saw pictures. You wore the Shame Austin kit to the game, and
not only to the game, but also before the game to the mega tailgate. Walked over there. And
you got there so early. Like, what time we get there? I was like, we'll probably get there. Like, I'm getting there at like 4, and I was like, you're gonna get murdered. Like, I thought it was a cry for help. I'm like, should we get an escort or something?
No,
police escort.
There you go. Yeah.
Nailed it.
No, so I walked over there. I got probably about 5:30 is when we got over there. We're able to walk around, and looking for Courtney while I was there, managed to talk to about 25 to 30 other people who were all, let's just say, curious about the jersey. But a fantastic reception from crew fans in terms of as soon as I mentioned, podcast such and such, everybody was just laughing and joking and taking pictures and scanning QR code and doing just all the things you want your friends to do.
Yeah, totally.
I'm happy for you, but I'm and part of me is kind of disappointed. Nobody spat at you or anything like that.
You can't spit at this face.
Oh, that's true.
Well, you can only punch. It's a great idea to put the black electrical tape over the
that had to have been
and over the Austin badge.
That was the one thing that I'm like, I can't actually show up with an Austin official jersey. So yeah, the black electrical tape and an X over the crest, and the sponsor, I felt was appropriate. So
okay, nice. And so then when you got into the game, you were
before that, I mean, even walking down the street, like over to Betty's, like in front, down Nationwide Boulevard or wherever it is.
Yeah.
No, Black and Gold Boulevard. God, thanks, Morgan. Multiple people literally just walking next to me in the street, having conversations and stopping and curious about what it was and why it said Messi 96 and that we did not actually sign his brother, which I told multiple people.
So good.
So, but everybody was fantastic. Austin did. No, this was his jersey in Austin. Yeah. So, but yeah, a fantastic time. So then we got into the game.
Yeah. And there was when we didn't get a chance to hang out prior to. I thought we'd get up and meet out, and we just kept missing. But we ended up stopping by Betty's, and Kevin from Supporter Spa was out there. He's like, "Oh yeah, Trey was here. You can't miss him." And I was like, "Oh man, I have to see him." So we go in the stadium, and he ends up coming up. It's bananas because they're handing out these hats. The Goosebumps hats,
green hats,
and people are putting them on, and it looks like the jersey.
It's green. Yeah,
it's green. It's like that pastel green. It fits so well. So he put it on, and I was like, it kind of takes the fun out of it. It's like green on green, and like literally all the people that work there, that that say staff or whatever, that was the color that they were wearing. So it was so disorienting.
Yeah,
like I took a photo, and I was like, it didn't stand out as much as I thought it would, but it still stood out. Like
on a yellow day, it probably would. The fact that we were debuting these new kits on Crewsmas, and as we know, if you're gonna wear a coat, it's probably black. So that didn't help any.
No, I was wearing green.
You had green on. You had a green coat on because you're a true fan.
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
But,
Well, most coats are black.
Most coats are.
Most coats are black
too. Yeah.
Go
okay. And then you found Courtney at some point, and you made your way to the campus.
Well, we had talked to her in the morning at City Tavern, and we had mentioned about going to the tailgate and possible other things that I could do that might cause, ruffle feathers,
panic.
And somebody made a joke about me going in, or I said I think that I might try to go in the Nordic, and she goes, "Well, if you go in the Nordic, just come down and I'll get you on the Capo stand." Which I proceeded to do. So after 4 chants, she was gracious enough to look me dead in the eyes and threaten me with her soul and said, "Get up here now." I was like, "Okay, Courtney, that's fine. I'm going to get up there." And she proceeded to shame me and boo me.
Yeah.
And everyone joined in, right?
And everybody joined in. Probably about 1,000 Nordic members looking at me. Nobody threw anything, which is nice. But it was a fitting end to a losing prediction season.
Yeah. And we've made the decision, I think, next year, same thing. And keep in mind, Tracy did the whole thing where he wore the shoes, tucked in his shirt, tuck it, did the whole thing. I think we're going to do clown makeup next year. And if it's not clown makeup, after 4 chants, when you get up there, we're going to have the Nordica paint the clown face on.
No, I don't like clowns. Can't do clowns.
Okay.
I'm just predicting another loss, so we'll just go with it.
But
an absolute,
I think you're gonna wear that jersey every game now. You got so much attention. It's getting to
and we won, so it's kind of like you have to keep wearing it until we lose.
I had 2 people that were like, "Do you have to wear this to every game?" I was like, No.
But I will.
No.
This thing's going on a hanger till next year.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to bring it down here. Dang it.
Yeah.
But you did get recognized a bunch when we were out there. People would walk by and we just hear tip of the hat or upper 90 club. It's like,
yeah.
It was fun.
I mean, people get it. So,
cool.
yeah. Didn't die.
We're the sideshow to the main attraction. So,
yeah. And also just shout out to Ben, too, for your contribution to Soccer Wise this week, too.
Right.
A lot of good feedback on that. You were with Goss.
David.
Yeah, doing the Columbus Crew preview for them. So
it was great. I mean, I for me, that is like the only MLS podcast I listen to is that podcast. Like, I think their takes are always spot on. Like, Tom and Dave are the best. That's just my opinion. Yeah. So getting to like hop on there and talk to them was awesome. They were great. And David should come on like midway through the season to kind of talk about what's going on. So
cool.
Who knows?
All right. Well, let's this is going to be like our first regular episode here of the season. We're going to do our game summary. We're going to do our thoughts and players. We're going to do our read the internet. We're going to check out the tables.
There could be a search stat.
All the hits, man. We're going to check out the predicts, the predict picks. And so I can't wait. If you are a first-time listener, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Blue Sky, Upper 90 Club Pod.
All the things.
Just look
YouTube,
it up.
YouTube, MySpace, Friendster.
Use AI to find us, or Swiss Cows. Let's get into it. Chicago at Columbus.
Berhalter.
I knew we were going to win. Ooh. Can't wait to talk about that. Trey, tell us, set the stage.
Hey, what happened?
Facts that could save your life.
February 22nd at 7:30 p.m. back in the friendly confines of Lower.com field in front of 20,210 frozen stiff Columbus Crew faithful. The Crew took on the reignited fire of Chicago, now led by former Crew coach Greg Berhalter. The weather was a brisk 28 degrees at kick with a light breeze, causing goose pimples to rise on the skin of every Crew fan. Nance's Crew.
I hate goose pimples, the word. I hate that word so much.
Nance's Crew with a return to dominance in the statistical categories, leading in possession with the 57 to 43% advantage. Total shots of 14-13, big chances, accurate passes, corners earned, total passes in both the Chicago half and the Crew's own half. And the stat that everyone's listening and has been waiting for.
Yes.
110 days. That feels like of the greatest game on earth. Crew with an expected goal advantage of 2.18 to Chicago's 1.79 in a game where the teams combined to score 6 goals. Hawes?
I'm actually good with that on the XG.
Give us those lineups.
It does feel right.
The Crew's lineup was posted as Jason Russell Rowe up top, Arvston, Chambeau, and Rossi behind him, with Nagbe and Zawadzki holding down the middle. And they had it listed with a 4-man back of Amundsen, Chaberko, Morera, and Farsi, with Schulte in goal. But they very quickly shifted into their 3-man back line.
Regular.
I don't know if anybody knew what the formation was for a while, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was a little disorganized at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this one came at us quick. 13th minute, Hawes.
Goal for Brian Gutierrez. Arvston attempts a long ball from the left side of the field out right to Farsi, and he doesn't get enough power on it. And Gutman is able to intercept. He spots Bamba making a run down the left side and getting past Morera before playing a nice through ball, and Bamba is off to the races. He brings the ball into the left side of the box and plays a ball across to Gutierrez at the semicircle. He takes a touch, shoots low and driven with his right as Schulte dives to save it, but just can't get to it. 0-1 Chicago. Nagbe was a little bit in no man's land there, and Chambeau and Zawa couldn't step to Gutierrez quick enough to affect the play.
Yep. A good shot to the corner, though.
He megged who I can't remember who it was in front of him. I think it might have been Amundsen or something like that. Someone stepped to him, so he was blocking, Schulte's view. Schulte
still went through his arms.
He could have got it. Yeah, he could have got it.
Still went through his arms.
So 6 minutes later in the 19th minute, Hawes.
Goal for Jason Russell Rowe.
Woo!
The broadcast completely missed it.
100%.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brady tries to play, which is the Chicago goalkeeper, tries to play out of the back as Jason Russell Rowe puts pressure on him. He passes to Origal in their own box. Zawa applies immediate pressure, knocks the ball away, and it falls directly to JRR. just outside the 6-yard box. He's able to settle the ball, take a touch, and shoot with his left around Brady and into the side netting. Does a nice job not panicking, gets his head up, finds a spot, he shoots that. 1-1.
Post. It's great.
Cool finish.
Yeah, great. Sweet. I was pumped. I was pumped for Russell Rowe to get first goal of the season. I'm like, all right, we're off and running. We're off and running.
And then 3 minutes later, Haas.
22nd minute. Second goal for Brian Gutierrez. Chicago play out of the back to the right side. The ball is flicked up and into the middle of the field where Kuipers is able to get up in the air and head a pass over Nagbe to Gutierrez at the half line. He drives forward, plays a ball out left to Bamba, who takes a few touches, cuts to his right, slips a beautiful pass between Morera and Chiberco, where Gutierrez has snuck in behind. He takes a touch, shoots with his left, nutmeg Schulte, 1-2 Chicago lead. He kind of was opened up for Gutierrez as Chiberco stepped over to help with Bamba, and Amundsen was kind of marking the man at the back post and wasn't able to step to Gutierrez.
Nagbe didn't track that runner. I watched it like
that wasn't
6 times.
I don't think that was Nagbe.
Nagbe it was a combination
5
of
yards
Nagbe
in
and
front of
Zawadzki.
that.
I got to come back to this one. I tell you that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. 37th minute. Yellow card issued to Sergio Origel of the Fire for his tackle from behind on Zawadzki.
Origel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It still didn't take the pain away. 38th minute. Haas. Cue up that circus music.
Own goal to Tehran. Crew are knocking the ball around well in the attacking half. Chiberco finds Zawadzki centrally, who plays a ball forward to Rossi. Rossi drops a pass to Chambeau, who plays the ball up the right side to Farsi. Morera overlaps Farsi, and he plays the ball to him. Morera plays the ball into the box with his first touch, deflects off of Elliott, and continues into the box, where Dean trips and falls over Jason Russell Rowe's leg. As Tehran is trying to clear the ball, they kind of collide a little bit. Tehran ends up popping the ball up and over Brady and into the net. 2-2 tie.
Bananas. Yeah, the whole game was like that. It was just like, what are we watching?
So, 44th minute, yellow card issued to Philip Zinkernagel for his lazy tackle on Diego Rossi.
That I missed that because they let play on.
Yeah.
So I missed it. So watching the game back, I was like, it wasn't a good tackle. It was pretty bad.
The problem was he had committed multiple tackles in a row, so even the ref went over.
It was the fourth. It was like the fourth on. It was reoccurring. It was the reoccurring fouls on the same player because Rossi been fouled like 4 or 5 times by different players.
Right.
Yeah, quick interjection here. Didn't they make that rule that only the captain should be talking? Because after rewatching it, Rossi was Rossiing, my man.
Oh yeah,
was like in the ref talking to him the entire time. Like,
I asked during the game, it's like, who's captain out there? And Jesse said, I think it's Nagbe.
Speaking of which, 45+1, Haas.
Goal for Rossi. Chiberco plays a long ball forward to the left side towards Arfston. Chicago takes it away, but Arfston is able to win the ball back almost immediately. He passes to Zawadzki, who dribbles by a defender, plays a ball forward to Chambeau. He turns into the box, lays a pass out wide to Farsi, who takes a few touches, does a few juke moves around towards the end line, lays a pass back to Morera. He takes 2 touches and lobs the ball into the box where Rossi has found space between 2 defenders as Jason Russell Rowe drags the defenders away from him. He jumps up, heads it down past Brady, 3-2 Crew just before half.
Do you find it funny that last year he was like, we just got to get Rossi to score with his head. Then game 1, he scores a header. And it's like, man.
That was not
Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
All right, so we go into half as Haas says. What?
Go ahead.
Okay. So we go into half, as Haas just said, up 3-2. Coming out of halftime, 46th minute, Chicago with the early sub of Barlow, who came in for Cupers. 50th minute, Haas.
It's a second goal for Rossi. Chicago are playing out of the back while the Crew are applying pressure. Ball ends up with Zinkernagel facing his own goal and Zawadzki on him. while Amundsen comes flying out of the back, slide tackles the ball, knocks it loose, goes straight to Rossi just outside of the box with tons of space. He settles the ball with one touch, shoots low and driven with his right, past the diving Brady. 4-2 Crew.
Classic Rossi.
58th minute. After a lengthy review, Brian Gutierrez of the Fire is issued a yellow card. No call in the field led to a VAR stoppage. I mean, the last time I checked, an intentional forearm and elbow to the back of a head of an opposing player was a red card. Anybody?
Wait, I missed what happened. I
The
only got
announcers
to.
were like talking about how it was a red.
It should have been a red.
I was watching the game and I missed it, and I was like, "What?" And it's like, "Oh, possible red." I'm like, "Where?"
He came into the tackle with Chiberico, and as he came in, he raised his arm up, and the elbow forearm made contact, forceful contact. I mean, he meant to do it.
He drives.
Yeah, was it? So it was like
to the back of the head of Chiberico.
Yeah,
I think the only saving grace to it happening for him was the fact that he basically missed. And he only caught a little bit of contact, and so like he didn't catch him with the elbow. He caught him more with the forearm
but
part of
that
the.
Still shouldn't be like, oh, he missed.
Oh, I agree.
It's like that's still a red card. Okay, cool. I gotta watch it. I don't have a dog in the fight, but
so all right, Mr. Vic. 59th minute, Crew with oh good God, that doesn't make sense. 59th minute, Crew brings on AZ for Jason Russell Rowe. 63rd minute, we had a goal called back for an offside on Zawadzki. It would have been a goal for AZ. Very close. I mean, there wasn't much that he could do. Amundsen
was
shot.
the replay close? Because when I saw it, I was like, "That's offside." At the beginning of the play.
Time.
It was clear.
Bouncing off.
It was
clear
clear that he was offside.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Zawadzki wasn't really in the play, and he was walking back, and then when he took the shot, it ricocheted. So it is what it is.
He was offside when the shot was taken, but not when it ricocheted off the defender. He was onside by the time it ricocheted off the defender.
That's not the rule.
Right. So 68th minute, Fire with 2 subs. Glasgow comes in for Origel, and Pineda in for Zinkernagel. 82nd minute, Herrera comes in for Mo Farsi. And the game ends at 4-2 Crew. And with the win, Columbus moves to 1-0 in the season and propels the Crew up into first place in the East and extends their streak of 7 games without a loss to the Fire. Ooh. And it pushes it up into 3rd place in the Supporter Shield standings.
I think we're second. I think Atlanta is in front of us.
3rd.
What was their score?
So somebody was 4-0, and then the one above us was 4-1. And
San Jose was 4-0.
Yeah, San Jose was 4-0,
Yeah.
and then somebody was 4-1. We were 4-2. So our +2
Atlanta
puts us
Got
up
it.
there. Yep.
The last Chicago win in Columbus was in June of 2013.
Is that a Cirque stat?
Whoa.
They mentioned it during the
on
game.
That's an Oz stat.
When we come back, we'll do thoughts and players. But before we do that, we do have a Cirque stat.
This is Steve Cirque, and this is a Cirque stat.
4 goals by #Crew96 ties the #Crewsmas record. Why so many hashtags? Hashtag previously. No, okay. Ties the Crewsmas record previously accomplished in 96 when we scored 4-0 versus DC, and in 22 when we scored 4-0 versus Vancouver.
I will say another
is
thing.
Is that 29 years ago, or is that 30
impossible
years ago?
to know?
It is.
With the leap year,
seasons.
it's 30, but it's 29. Well, the other thing, too, is like we had an own goal this game, and that first game, that DC, our first goal was an own goal.
Oh.
And we won in 96. Right. We won the cup. We didn't. I was hoping it was like sweet foreshadowing. I was like, yeah. Wait.
Yeah. 4 goal rating. We'll be right back.
Have you or a loved one been affected by the Columbus Crew? Do you wish that there was a space to talk about all things Crew and capybaras? Well, you're in luck. We here at Discord Deck have built a home for Crew fans near and far. We have more than just Crew discussions and are more than just Crew fans. We have a book club, MLS Fantasy League, and much more. If you'd like to join our weird little family, then go to our website, discorddeck.soccer, and click on Join Server, discorddeck.soccer.
Side effects may include giddiness, excitement that lasts longer than 2 hours. We are not a cult, and strong opinions for the color purple.
All right, we're back. And with that, I am excited to get into the thoughts and players.
Thoughts and players.
From MLS Communications at MLSPR, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
After scoring a brace for the Columbus Crew tonight, Diego Rossi became the 4th fastest active #MLS player to reach 100 career goal contributions. That's 65 goals, 35 assists. Doing so in just his 149th regular season game.
Yeah.
Underrated?
Well, it's one of those things that I think we called it out. I know I called it out before. I was like, he's going to have a bunch of goals this season, and we're still going to be like, meh. You know what I mean? It's like he's going to be like, oh yeah, he's like 3rd in Golden Boot, and I'll be like, yeah, but he's not Cucho. But it's like, but he's really good. He scores a bunch of goals.
Well, and I think if you look back, there was only one set of footprints there.
I made that same joke that on Crewsmas night to somebody. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it was like,
yeah.
Well, he was the man of the match.
Yeah.
Did you notice his celebration?
He did the dinosaur.
He T-Rexed.
No, but
he did
also,
the T-Rex.
But then he did the old badge by himself, standing alone with the arms crossed.
Nice.
Have we seen that before, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I think he follows us.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So MLS Communications is a real MLS account. It's on MLSsoccer.com.
Okay. Well, whether they're real or not, so it's a statistic.
It's impressive.
He's.
I think he's an underrated player, and I mean we keep forgetting that he was the difference maker for us when we won the cup coming in. He changed the season for us. He was a big part in winning the season. He was a big part of our run in CCC, and we got to be very happy that we have him.
He looked good. He looked quick. I feel like past seasons, I feel like he looks a little slow, but he looked really quick.
I think
he was aggressive. It's fun to watch.
The all black he was wearing definitely helped.
Oh yeah, he was 100%.
It makes you look faster. Yeah.
But I will say this though.
Him and Farsi?
He was struggling getting into the game, and it wasn't by his own fault. It was a little bit of how we were playing in the first half. We got more and more into it as the game, like with the rest of the team.
Yeah, and we should shout before. Let's get into the game and like all the fun stuff. But we should shout that 400 MLS regular season starts for Darlington Nagbe.
Yeah, El Capitan.
That's a ton of games, man. So good on him, and I'm pretty sure he captained this game too, even though I don't see it in the FOT Mob stuff. But good on him. But let's get into the game. Let's get into the actual game. I mean, again, there 1,000 goals. I feel like this happened last year too, where it's like, all right, we'll just break down the game really fast, and it's like we have to go over all the goals. It's like there's so many goals.
Yeah, so we did. We talked about the goals. So let's just talk like I think this was a good game of thirds. Like let's kind of talk first half hour.
Right, yeah.
I just general thought was I kind of forgot how hokey the first game of the season always is. Like, we had a bunch of substantial changes in the front. And also, it's first game back. It's cold out. They've been practicing mostly
in Florida, I know.
In warm weather. You're playing against Berhalter, who's kind of a known coaching commodity, but like he's got a new squad and a bunch of new players, and they're all trying to like play their first game at altitude, if you will, like, at full speed. And that was present, right? I mean, if this game was played mid-season, it would not have been 4-2, right?
Yeah.
It was an ugly game.
Yeah.
Especially in the first half. There was glaring bad touches. I would say that the first goal for them obviously come from Arfston, and this happened a lot. Under hitting the long ball, like the ball is too frozen to carry. We had that many, many times where they're trying to hit the long ball and it just cuts short. And it was Arfston cutting in, tried to get I think it was Farsi wide open on our right side. And it went short, and then boom, it's straight on to the left side where they went every time.
Bomba
every time. For the first half an hour.
Minutes. Yeah, like for 20 minutes, he was a nightmare. And then after that, he ran out of gas.
Yeah, so it wasn't that. It was Morera stepping up and
that we figured
being
it out.
more aggressive in his approach.
Right.
Well, and Nancy got up and told him, like, you got to get forward. You also have to attack. If they're just going to run at you the whole game, you need to attack and make a difference on that side.
I played the wing position, and the thing is, you have to drive the other person. If you run all the way up, they have to follow you. And if you stretch him up, he can't hang up and do that. But it was really interesting. Like, it was really ugly. There was some real bad passing. At some point, someone I sit with told Shirt he should probably move back to Ukraine at some point, and after that, he played better. There's somebody sitting by me was not being very nice. But
do they know what's going on in Ukraine? Because you can't.
Yeah, but he gave up the ball probably 4 or 5 times in the first half, like sitting on the ball for a long time and making bad decisions.
Okay. Sure. So when we were at the game, I was like, he is having a howler of a game. I rewatched it, and I actually don't think he had that bad of a game. And then I watched, I think, 3 other MLS games. And even when you're looking at the Chicago Fire's back line, everybody was terrible. Anybody that was trying to play out of the back was garbage. Like, LA was terrible. Even like San Diego was terrible. They were very bad. They gave us like 2 or 3 goals trying to play out of the back. So yeah, he didn't have that good of a game, but like his stats, he's a 7.6. Like, he had a good game.
So I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that this is Chicago being the best Chicago team I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For sure.
They actually have players, and they're actually trying to play a system that makes sense. And yes, I know I am a Greg apologist. I know that. But this team actually looked cohesive to a point. Bomba looked good. Gutierrez looked good. You know, I think they're going to be better than the wooden spoon. But, you know, it's the first game of the season. Yeah. It's easier to press than it is to pass out of it.
Right.
Well, let's. So I started this by talking about the first half hour. I mean, they put up 2 goals.
Good goals.
Our win was not a sure thing. I wasn't sure we were gonna figure it out.
I wasn't comfy until like the 80th minute. I was like, okay, I think.
No, actually, I honestly, second half after we got that 4th goal, I felt pretty confident. We should actually probably put it away for my sense. I didn't think they had that much. I think we had pretty much control after we got Bomba under control. Right. It wasn't much of a threat. And here's the difference in coaching. One coach was willing, watching the game, making changes. He made some changes.
The field. He was
he was getting on the field yelling. Yes,
dude,
that was good. Morera, get up the field. Right?
He should have been carted. Like, Nazi was on the field. He was a 12 member. He was screaming.
You said that to the text earlier, but I wasn't there in person. They had that on the broadcast. I was like, Nancy on the field. And like, dude, by the time Lauren looked up, she's like, no, he's not. I was like, you want me to roll it back? He's on. He was out there.
Yeah. You know? No, that was all about Morera, which, by the way, when he got up the field, was a key player for us.
Sure.
But Greg didn't change anything, and we change. And we always know if it's close at half, Nancy has a thing about pulling the strings right, adjusting at half, and then making things happen.
Well, and we had put up 3 by the time it was halftime.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think 30th minute or thereabouts, like really after they scored the first one, and it was like, it seemed avoidable. I mean, even if you just put it on Schulte, like should have stopped it kind of thing. Like, okay, that's a dumb way to start. But, you know, we've seen in the past that we've been able to come back, but you don't really know first game of the season without our firepower up top. Like, how readily are we going to be able to put numbers, you know, put points on the board? And then we got the one from Russell Rowe, but like, this is kind of what I wanted to talk about when Trey was talking through it earlier. Like, I wasn't all that convinced that was like that I didn't feel more comfortable being 1-1 then, because it was like we stole it. You know, it wasn't like a team. It wasn't team ball.
No, it was. So it was. And again, watching a bunch of the other games, this was kind of league wide where it just seemed kind of disorganized and like people weren't on the same page. People weren't making runs. It was very much the first game of the season, but keep in mind, we had 4 shots on target and 4 goals. So like that's not great. So
Morera got a goal without a shot on target. So
yeah. So like, I mean, I saw some graphics that were just like, yeah, where are the goals going to come from? I'm like, yeah, but these weren't like normal Nancy worked goals.
No,
I want to take it kind of back because I kind of want to take it back to like what we were trying to do. So we started out in basically a 3-5-2. Shambos was all over the field. He was not up top, running up top. In fact, most of the time in transition or when we had the ball, he would run out right to where Farsi was, and Farsi would have free reign to run in different, like he was running up top next to Russell Rowe.
Was high up.
It was crazy. So like a lot of this is by design. And I want to point out that, I think this is the first time that the Nazi system is like taking the next step. Like he's trying his way of playing, because when we had Cucho, we would just play around Cucho. But now that we don't have a focal point up top, this is his, like mix of what he's trying to do. And I straight up, there was so many Route 1 direct balls up top that I never saw last season. And I'm still struggling when I watch the game again to figure out like, what are we doing? This seems bananas, because usually it was like work out of the back, either like spray it out wide or run it through the middle with Zawadzki and Nagby. We didn't do that. We literally just chipped it up to Russell Rowe and then tried to win the second ball.
We did that more late in the season last year. We started to play more direct or over the top.
And it kind of worked. I don't love it, but like it's not as pretty, but
it would have worked if we can hit the balls, like I just said. A lot of the balls just ended up being a little bit short. Arvston could barely get a foot in the game. I felt like
he
for a long period of time. But I will say this: defensively, nothing happened down that side.
Yeah,
it was a lockdown between Amundsen and Arvston on the left side. There was nothing coming down that side at all.
Yeah. Gutierrez was on that side. He had 2 goals, but those were not on him. Like,
yeah, I saw that you talk about lineups and how it doesn't mix up. They said we started Bamba on the middle and Central as a forward. That was not the case. He was on the sideline.
He was on the left. So, yeah,
and he's good. He was great. Yeah, like I said, there was 6 total goals, and it makes sense because I think 2/3 of the game we had the better of it, and 1/3 of the game they had. So it actually like was almost perfect. Shambo is the interesting one because I was hoping to see AZ up top, but it was not to be. I think defensively we struggled at the top of the box. That's where both goals came from, and I think there was a huge disconnect between the back 3 and like right above them. There wasn't anybody that was sitting in like what I would call a stopper or a number 6 position, like in front of the defense. That was just wide open for them. If you go back, Bamba had like 2 balls across. He was actually one of them in the middle. They had like 4 shots in that area that they blasted over, thank God. But like that area was totally open to them. So again, chalk it up to the beginning of the season because we were gifted goals by them. And like I said, for those people that are like
it's still in the, I guess at the beginning of the second third, right? Like say 30th minute or so. I don't remember exactly what the minute was, but Morera's own goal, Morera's initiated own goal to Rossi's first goal to Rossi's second, all that kind of happened like within the second 30 minutes.
Right.
And I think that we kind of controlled that second third. And I think we controlled the third, but it was more of just like a hold. I wouldn't have been surprised if we put up a 5th, and we we did for a minute.
Yeah. There was a period there I felt like we could put 1 or 2 or 3 in there.
Yeah.
Well, and Nancy was quoted something around, he said, around the 50th, 55th, 60th minute, we were animals on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So that period of the game where we were taking over,
dominating, and look at that goal where Rossi scores. Amundsen Amundsen pressures and get to the guy that is on top of his own box and pressures it and tackles and get the ball to Rossi.
The other one that took it off was Zawadzki. So even Zawadzki, who like plays further back, was the one pressuring, and like Moreira had the own goal or whatever. Like that's what we are used to seeing, is those back, like everybody getting into the attack, and they're not being picked up, because why would you pick up a right center back, or why would you pick up the left fullback in the box, because everybody else is there. The other thing we should say that we didn't talk about is Lassi Lapalainen was out, Rudy Camacho was out last minute, and Taha Barun was out. So, yeah,
the goalkeeper.
And Hagen was out as well. So
we'd like to. We know Nancy likes to work with a small squad, and when you get injuries, that is a problem.
It becomes smaller. Yeah, I mean, on the bench you had Tristan Brown. Still, that's a Crew 2 guy. Owen Prestis, which is Crew 2, and Chase Adams. I think you can add up.
All right, baby.
Add up those three ages. They're all three younger than I am.
Than Yep.
They're all like 7 years old.
They all look good for 43.
So. I was hoping we were going to get that if that fifth goal stood.
Yeah, Chase Adams was going to come on.
Chase Adams was coming on, and I was looking forward to it, but it didn't happen, of course.
I would say it's the only thing Trey talked about besides like the jersey. He's like, Chase is coming on. Chase is coming on. I will say something I am kind of shocked about was the non-inclusion of DeJuan Jones. Even when you're up 4-2, I was very excited. I still am very excited about that player. And like Arston played the full, and Farsi got subbed off, but he got subbed off for Herrera.
That was shocking.
And I was it was, and Farsi had a pretty good game. Like I would say after the first 30 minutes, we can start judging the team of like, okay, they snapped out of it.
Long season.
Sure.
I mean, literally we have a game on the 1st, the 4th, and the 8th of March.
Right.
Yeah, but we're talking about a guy that was one of the best players in Camp Cupcake like a month ago for the U.S.
He will have a lot of time, and I am not worried about it. He's a part of the cog.
They could have at least given him one of those hats.
Yeah.
The green ones.
Yeah. Well, so when they were playing like animals there, like you said, Haas, do you think that they like looked up in the clouds and it was like Cucho as Mufasa? Like, remember. Anyway. Okay. We have
good Lion King joke. Proceed.
Thank you. Thank you.
There was one more
is that the
Nancy
first
quote,
Lion King?
If I can get it out there, where Brianna from the Dispatch asks him about, the new attack without Cucho and Ramirez. And he was like, I'm going to ask you a question. And then he was like, no, I'm not going to. And then he goes into it. He says, do you talk to your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend all the time? It's done. So let's move forward. So can we move forward?
I feel like
everybody can score.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Nancy.
You know what?
Did I say that? I feel like
he doesn't want to be asked about Cucho or Ramirez. He's not a part of the team. Again.
He's not a part of the team.
He's not.
And the interesting thing, did you also hear that after we went out, he didn't watch any.
Yeah, he didn't watch
1 minute.
He didn't rewatch the
1 minute of the playoffs or MLS Cup or whatever. He's like, I don't care. That's not my team.
He couldn't do it.
No, he said I was just focused on my team.
I don't blame him. Yeah, you don't learn anything. Like he knows. Like I don't blame him.
He knows it all.
I still haven't watched the goal that happened to Steve Clark in the game that never existed. So
I haven't either. I'm going to be honest with you.
What game?
You can find it on the internet. Let's do that now. We're not gonna watch the goal, but we do need to read the internet. All right, from Rob McBurnett, Rob Crew PR.
Bobby Puerto Rico.
I feel like that nickname is gonna go the way of the pirate.
I will not stop saying Bobby Puerto Rico,
which means live out its waning days in the Caribbean. The at Columbus Crew are 4-0 and 0 in home openers since their fortress at Lower Field Seabus's first full season in 2022. In 45 home matches across all competitions since 23, the club owns a 29, 5, and 11. That's 5 losses, 11 draws record, or a 627 win percentage. Hashtag Crew 96. What do you think? Good investment?
Pretty good.
Good investment as a season ticket member?
I'm counting the years again. But
yeah.
No, it's good. I mean, this is the key. Is even now, especially now that we don't have our key player, is to keep winning, getting results at home, and taking what we get on the road. This is MLS for you. If we win at home,
from a paying for joy standpoint,
yes,
you have seen, if you went to every single home game, which Mort, I know you did because I heard about that second mortgage. You put the Morton mortgage.
That's what I was gonna say.
You're too slow. You have been to 45 matches since 23. You've only seen the team lose 5 times. That's pretty good. Pretty good ROI.
Yes.
And 2 of those was Miami, with and without Messi. So
2 of those was Miami.
2 of them.
And 1 was Seattle.
I remember, it's crazy. Remember the losses. I'm like, I can't tell you when we won, but I remember those.
Cincinnati.
Games. Cincinnati at home.
We lost.
Just the really important ones.
Red Bull, right? We lost 1 to Red Bull.
Yeah, good point.
2 to Miami, 1 to Seattle.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and then from Hatch, a lot of chicken emojis on Hatch.
Not enough.
I get it. I get it.
But the guy's name is Zach Hatcher. Okay. Y'all are very mature and forgiving when a player leaves by their own choosing. Should I not do an accent?
I like it.
I mean,
personally, I like it.
There's no apostrophe in y'all.
He started with y'all.
It's just for fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wrap it up.
He couldn't say you all, but he started with y'all.
Hatch, we love you. This is just what we think you sound like.
Y'all. This is an artistic interpretation.
Right,
I don't wish him unwell, but I sure ain't tuning in to watch him and his new team later. Homegrown and guy who developed with the crew. Maybe. It's definitely not a sentence. What do you guys think about that?
Sound like the white Morgan Freeman.
I mean, so I think what he was saying is he was more asking, like, why are you following a dude who just left? And I think part of it is being butthurt that our guy left and we weren't ready for it. And the other part is like more of like, why do you follow somebody after the fact? And it's interesting. I thought about it. I'm like, well, do I actually follow a lot of the players? And I don't, but for some reason I still follow Aiden Morris. I follow Cucho currently, which is homegrown.
You follow Gaston, don't you? Suaro?
That was me.
Yeah, that's
on Instagram or something.
I do too. I mean, just for the pictures.
Yeah,
I
think you kind of. Cucho's interesting because it's. He's not a homegrown, but like we said, like what I had said before was like he is the best Crew player to put on a Crew jersey, and he moved on, and I actually think he is going to move up. Same thing with Morris. I mean, there's a good chance he could get promoted to the Premier League, and then I watch him in the Prem play some of the best players in the world. I think it's interesting.
So the question and I missed this in the beginning, was this directed to us on X?
Yeah, this is a response from last week when Lama and Morgan was talking about, I don't give a crap about what our players do when they leave Columbus Crew. That has nothing to do with us anymore. I, for once, is thinking people gambling at games to make it more interesting. People do fantasy football to make NFL close to interesting. So this is kind of the thing. For me, it's kind of I follow players. So if I watch a game, I'm getting a little bit invested in it because I kind of know, quotation mark, a player that is involved in it and makes the game more interesting. And it's more engaging to watch it. And I do this on purposely on anything that has to do with Premier League and La Liga and so on, because I get a little more invested in the game that is not United or Columbus Crew.
I like that take. I don't have the same take as you whatsoever, because for me this is if your team is terrible and the player chooses to leave, then you have the right to hate that said player, i.e. Myles Garrett with the Browns. I'm not going to follow Myles Garrett wherever he goes.
Sure,
I could care less.
Oh,
he took his money and run.
Couldn't care less.
It depends.
No, I could care less, which means yeah. So, all right.
So here's what I think some people miss.
So what? Hold on.
Listen,
what,
no.
What would Garrett have to do to make you care less? Tell us that.
Re-sign with the Browns. Care about the team. So, no,
not myself.
If
it's the Browns. I kind of get it. I'm sorry.
No, that's the problem though. Is that you qualify, but because you're like, oh, it's the Browns. Oh, it's this. Oh, they moved on. But if your team is terrible and players are leaving and you haven't won anything, they just came, played for the money, did good, and they're out of here. Yeah, I have the same sentiment. I don't.
Yeah, winning. Winning, and
when you are winning, and players are being moved on for millions of dollars more than you paid for them, I'm not going to wish ill on that player.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the thing that I think some people are missing is because they were like, we don't watch any soccer besides this, and I'm like, well, we like us five. We consume soccer outside of the crew.
Wow.
Like I had it on in the background before I played. Like I watched LA.
I consume a shameful amount of soccer.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. I had it on in the background this morning. Like I
made my kids
watching
watch
the Liverpool
the
game.
Crew game. So.
Yeah, like we rewatched the Crew game. Like I watched the the LA Galaxy game, San Diego game before this. Just for I don't know. I wasn't watching for Christian Ramirez necessarily, even though he started, and they were rough. It was just I just like watch it. So like, but if I'm tuning in at a certain time, like my Saturday mornings get up and I'm like, all right, cool, 12:30. Like I guess Real Betis is playing. I'll just turn it on. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd go outside of my way, but like that, this is my weekend routine, and it has been for like over a decade.
We didn't get
it
screwed,
depends.
So
I think the whole thing is it depends of who it is. If there's somebody you have an emotional connection to, Cucho, I'm not watching Saudi League to watch Zalarayan.
Yeah, well, I've never watched it.
Yeah, so that's my point. It's not like I'm blindly or Matan Romanian League. Actually, he signed finally with somebody.
He just signed.
Okay.
I still follow Lucas for the pictures.
I don't follow Lucas. I don't have the same kind of connection with Lucas. Even though
looks like this koala in my kids' book.
Let's move on. Let's move on. I think we got our answer.
But we got the point.
We got one more here from Brody.
It's a response to the
yeah.
You just got to understand and realize we're a stepping stone in a feeder league. It's not his fault. If he wants to advance in the sport he plays, he has to go.
All right.
The question I have here is this a feeder league?
Yes.
My question is that Brody knows ball, but does he know ball?
Whoa. But also, what does that mean?
Brody hit us up.
Yeah, I think for most of the what's unique about Cucho is that he was as you say, and I agree, the best or one of the best players to wear a Crew jersey. And in that sense, you correct me if I'm wrong, but like the strong DPs in MLS are not players who typically would be seen as players that are in a feeder league, whereas it's the other side of the coin is where we're doing a bunch of development and U22 initiative hashtag back. Our
he technically could have been a U2 initiative when he came. That's how young he was.
Yeah.
But
wild
Cucho.
But in that sense, yes, we are very development focused. We're very, we have the academy. We're moving. We want to find opportunities to move players to bigger leagues and capitalize on that youth investment. However, I think it's probably pretty rare to see players coming to MLS as DPs and then graduating, if you will, to
it's two different business models. One business model is the one that take the established player that is like where out his welcome, so to speak, in Europe,
Right.
So, like
Retirement.
he's
hurt.
retirement
Like,
and coming back. And then we have the other
Pirlo.
model right now that's been you've seen more and more of now, where we get a young South American player that comes to our league and move overseas. And now they're
He was
returning
at
too.
Watford. He was in the EPL. He was at the highest league.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
yeah.
what I
get
really
that.
like?
But
What
he
I
wasn't.
really like is what the some teams are starting to do this year, including like Latte Laf, what we did with Cucho, which is say, hey, you were playing at a pretty high level. Instead, and like the next level, you may not have done that well. Come over and play with us. We will bring you back. Like we will make you better, and then you can move on. Kind of how Cucho was at Watford, came over here, and we basically pitched Columbus to him, like, hey, come be the star here, and then move back to a bigger level. I'm looking at even like Anthony from Man United, where he was like, no one liked him, and he moved to Real Betis, and now he's phenomenal. And he can step back to a bigger team. Just because you fail, you get to a pretty high level, like in the EPL. You know, like Latte Laf was looking at going to the EPL from the Championship. He's coming to the MLS to be a baller, so he can get higher up. Like the feeder league, which just seems kind of weird, is like, you know, they start low, and our goal is to like make them better. I think that's part of it. The only thing I don't love about our league is the people that are like buying like Marco Reus. Like, this is where you're going to end up. Like, you're not going to go higher than this.
You see more and more that it doesn't work. Royce is not. I know the one.
He was
MLS
garbage
Cup,
today.
But he was garbage today. He was not the reason why they won.
No.
MLS Cup, not at all. So I think we see that more and more now that that model doesn't really always pay off. In some instances, it could be a nice, base for the team to be built around if you have the right experienced guy that can kind of lift the team.
There aren't going to be that many.
culture.
There aren't going to be that many players coming through that have the star power enough to move an entire game to a different city.
Yeah. Miami is the exception because it's like it's on another level. Right?
And every other player on that team except for Messi doesn't have that type of star power.
I disagree, but
no,
star power. No,
Messi.
No, star power. But for the team, I don't think Messi is even the most important player on that team.
No. What I'm saying is that like if Messi isn't on the team anymore, and it's just Suarez, this game is not in Cleveland when we play them.
Agreed.
No, I'm not talking about Suarez either.
And like Ricky Puig, if he didn't blow his knee out or meniscus tear or whatever it was, if they were coming here, that game's not in Cleveland. So the teams that are actually bringing those type of players in, it's not as successful as it used to be. And the draw, it's good when you're in New York City. It's good when you're in LA for both of their teams. It works down there.
Miami's an enigma, I would say. Like there's somebody who brought in these players, and they actually, I mean, Messi's just a wild card. But even without Messi, they were winning a ton.
It's kind of like the NBA. Like everybody wants to go and play with LeBron, so you get these extra players that normally probably wouldn't go to the team just because they want to play with the best, right?
Right.
I just don't love the term like feeder league or something like that. I love how MLS is now becoming like, instead of going to Belgium or instead of going to these other leagues that are like not the top three or whatever, they're coming here to springboard to the next one. So it's not like fair. It's great, and that's the other frustrating part where it's like,
so we're
but I will
couldn't break into the Colombian team because
a springboard league rather than a feeder league.
We're a diving club.
At least we have moved on from retirement league.
Yes.
So anything but retirement league is an improvement.
Well, and we are and from a league standpoint, we are relatively young. We are either 29 or 30 years old, and just think of like what this league could look like if we continue this kind of formula for another 29 or 30 years.
Yeah. We're better now than we were 5 years ago, and we're getting more like better. That's why like this year when everybody was like spending all of that money this time and getting these players instead of having them go to the next step, like I said, like go to the Belgium leagues, go to the Turkish leagues, or somebody that, go to Galatasaray or something like that. They're coming to the MLS is better, and it's not like a feed. It's not like a feed.
You know who had a similar kind of vibe to Kucha was Giovinco. You know, he
He was I think that's
like,
the closer you get to that.
He was a little older though.
I feel like he was older. Yeah, I feel like
he was slightly older, but he was probably in his prime, and Kucha was getting into his prime, right?
Yeah.
One thing we've talked about is like the one thing that could take a step forward would be the DP and get additional DP spots. But right now, for us, I'm okay because we can't even fill the DP spots that we have available.
Well, so I think this is a good spot to take a break. I want to talk a little bit about, we mentioned the table. We played one game, but like I would like to kind of look ahead. We've got a few months maybe 8 weeks of open trade window, and then it'll be until the end of July, I think, historically. Correct. When we could sign someone from,
I think it's like 2/3 of the way through the season.
Yeah.
Which isn't great. Like we're gonna have to do something prior.
I'd be interested to kind of see what our upcoming schedule looks like. So let's break here. When we come back, we'll do Run Club, we'll do tables, and then we'll do predictions and wrap this thing up. Boy, it's great to be back. I love this.
Long pod.
Long pod.
We'll be right back.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends. This is your good pal, Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
All right, we're back. Run Club. We talked a lot about the run this week. 9.6K. I like that distance. It's an hour. You run 10 miles an hour. Or I'm sorry, 6 miles an hour.
No. It is 5.96 miles.
Yeah, very nearly 6 miles. It takes about an hour. So this week, the Run Club, I said we got some new members. We're up to 80 runners.
I don't know if my watch synced.
You were not on it, so this is actually going to be a little.
Got it.
Our number here is going to be a little light. Here, I'll add 6 miles to this total. The total for the week, guys, was 779. 779 miles for the club. And let's see. Chris S put up 52 miles. Kevin T at 44. Philly C. I thought you said he wasn't running. He's at 38.6.
Phil? No, he did a marathon Saturday.
Yeah, he didn't run the
marathon yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Paco.
Good job, Paco.
Dude.
He's at 38. Chad's at 37. Brian's at 35. Nate's at 33.3.
Without running the extra 9.6 kilometers.
Without? Oh, because he wasn't there.
No, he didn't run him.
He didn't run it.
He was there, but he didn't run.
Still recovering from running 96 miles 2 weeks ago.
No, recovering from running 5K with the sun.
Oh, I should mention that we did hear from Nate after the last episode when we put out a
Amber Alert.
It was a wellness check on Nate.
It's like a silver.
He's
alert.
okay. You guys called me out on that one last time. What's that from? Anybody? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Hard to say.
All right. John K. We saw him 29 miles this week. Nelly 28. Who won the club? I did.
How many did I have? I don't think my watch synced at all last week.
Let's see. Yeah, you're just not on here. You're just not on here.
10. Daggone it. Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
I think I ran 20. How many did you run?
24.
I probably ran like 25. Okay. That's probably what happened.
Anyway, love seeing all the running here, guys. We had, let's see, 45 people put up miles this week.
We got to figure out when we end up running 960. What's the thing?
What's the thing? You get a car. You get a
meetup or something like that.
You get a car. You get an old pair of shoes. You get an old pair of shoes.
I need
one pair of shoes.
What if we do a shoe swap? We all trade shoes.
But
just one.
What if we
like,
just picture? What if we just picture ourselves running in a different pair of shoes?
It's like a secret Santa.
And then we tell each other about it. Is that
what if we
good
all
idea?
buy new shoes for ourselves?
Okay.
I did.
When the club gets to 960, I'm buying myself new running shoes. Is that
okay?
Is that? And I'll take a picture of it.
You're supposed to change shoes ever so often, right?
I
It's
do.
Either by miles or by date.
Strava will tell you.
Yeah, no.
About
I don't keep it up on that.
250.
All I know is that Stacy always buy new shoes based on miles.
Mm-hmm.
I buy new shoes based on time.
That's the same thing as the oil change, my man.
Yep.
You know, like she's putting up the miles. So like she's going to use up the miles before the shoes expire on date.
Yep.
You are going to you're going to have to get tired of dusting off the shoes and then you're going to have to buy new shoes. So
it's a lot of miles on those shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a car podcast now. So thanks for listening.
I'm Click and you're Clack. Let's move on.
I loved Click and Clack. I was just thinking, I was like, what was that one I used to listen to?
Which one died?
Katak.
Katak.
Okay, so at long last, we are back to my favorite segment.
Tables. Just tables. Tables. But tables. I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
Eastern Conference. We got the Columbus Crew in first place with 3 points, tied with a few other teams. Philadelphia,
Stop the boat.
Atlanta, Cincinnati. From there, we've got our teams with 1 point. Charlotte, New York City, DC, Toronto, Miami, New England, Nashville.
Miami.
Not making the playoffs.
Bottom of the East, we got Montreal, New York, Red Bull, Orlando, and Chicago with 0 points. Our opponents this coming week, New England, managed a 0-0 draw.
Managed by Porter.
Your favorite Crew player, Luis Diaz, made an appearance in the 77th
I forgot he was
minute.
up there.
Yeah, we got Campana leading the way up front for New England.
Oh yeah, he's historically threatening to the Crew.
Campana.
Right. Is he any good on turf?
So we're away. We're away in Foxborough.
That is correct.
On the 1st. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. A threatening crowd of 5,000 people would show up.
Yeah. I hope they do the box still.
Oh, they definitely got to do the tee boxes. They stopped doing it?
They've got to have a new one, though.
I wonder if Robert Kraft knew Joe Kristoff. Okay. Just wondering if that'll make the cut.
It may not.
Joe.
All right.
Joe. Yeah.
Just check the archives for our Joe Kristoff rundown, and
we're like Joke Kristoff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going back to back previous managers.
Yeah,
I know.
Interesting.
Come back in time.
Going.
Okay.
Back.
So we don't need to spend a whole lot of time talking about the tables now, but we're at the top. That's where we belong. So we'll I don't know. We'll get into what we think will occur against Porter and Co. in Foxborough here in just a minute. but I think we need to. And then you're gonna just put in the thing where I say, look into the D's next game. All right, let's talk about D's.
I don't know. I thought
you got to think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
You're dumb.
Speaking of being number one, there's 3 people being number one. It's Trey, Ben, and Haas.
Woohoo! Stop the boat.
Woo. Yep, they got 1 point. And of course, from mostly just picking us to win and nothing
no
else.
one was guessing 4-2. Oh, I completely forgot to send out a tweet and get those things. Yeah, I completely forgot. Someone, I was talking to Rex at the game, I think, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you didn't send anything." I was like, I completely forgot.
That's on me too, because I should have definitely put that together.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, sweet.
How do we do this podcasting stuff?
It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a while.
But right now, it looks like Mars or I would wear the jersey.
Why do you punish me? This is only going to be like an hour and 15 minutes long.
I know. I'm like wondering. I know
hours.
someone mentioned Hootie earlier, but like,
yeah, a great Hootie callback. Proceed.
Yeah, but the Hootie wasn't in. Nothing that we talk. All of our the callbacks are they're callbacks to.
No one will know how funny we are.
I know.
I think that's the biggest downfall.
God. All right.
Anyway,
I could deal with it. Go ahead.
I also don't think that was a Hootie song you were singing.
Time was.
Time is not Hootie.
Thinking about tomorrow.
Oh.
Time is 100% a Hootie Blowfish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, more Blowfish than Hootie. I feel
Are
like
you?
it was more
I'm
of a
thinking of
Blowfish.
the Rolling Stones, but whatever.
Almost the same band.
I thought you were saying time's on our side.
Go back.
Yeah,
You go
that's
back
what I'm saying.
You listen to my pitch perfect rendition of that first time. You'll know it's Hootie. Okay, Mort, you were talking about the Columbus Crew and our predictions thereof.
Yeah. So nobody got it right, but 3 of us got the score right.
And that means result right.
The result right. That means that Trey, Ben, and Haas got 1 point, and Mars and I are in Visca wearing that famous green jersey next season.
I will say if I lose, which I won't, but if I do, I'll make the trip.
Yes. No,
I may make the trip regardless, but if I lose, I'll definitely make the trip.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. All right. We ready to do this?
Well, yeah. I'll just say this. I just in my defense before we predict for the New England game. I'm surprised you guys didn't hang me out to dry a little longer. I did predict a loss for our first game. I'm surprised I didn't get more heat for that, but
first game of the season, anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and of course,
none of us were that confident.
Of course,
I like how you guys threw me on the bus to pick a side, and I will pick a side this time.
Well, yeah, and I just think that I kind of forgot about the whole first game of the season. Anything can happen, kind of thing. If I'm being honest, I'm not. I think the 4 goals was kind of flukish in the same way that the 4 goals against us from Philadelphia a couple years ago was kind of flukish.
It's like a yin and yang.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
I'm glad we won, and I'm ready to go to week 2. So, are you guys ready to put out your predictions for the New England game next week?
You're dumb.
All right.
Okay.
We got a variety.
Oh, look at that.
Variety.
All different.
Okay, let's start.
We're not all different.
It's the same thing happened last time. I was like, we're all different except for one. All right, so we're not
2 of us.
Let's start with Benny.
Yeah.
Ben, you said 1-2. 1-2 Crew Goo. You're doo-doo. Anything else to add?
Oh man, no.
I
actually
going to win 2-1, or
yes.
1-2, or
they have
2, and Caleb's team is going to put up 1.
Normally they tie, but I'm looking at their team. So the Chonkalai is their main guy that like causes trouble. out. I mean, they still have Carlos Gil and Campana, but like I'm looking at their last game, they had like 31% possession, and they didn't register like that many. Let's see, yeah, their XG was like under half. So I didn't actually watch the game, but it doesn't seem like they have a whole lot going on.
49% possession, but that's fine.
All right.
Okay. Still, but
all right. You've added what you need to add.
Listen,
all right.
numbers.
Okay. Morton, you said BOS 1 and CMH 3. We flying.
Is that the
I see what you did there, but is Lincoln? Is it BOS?
Yeah,
it is.
They're in Boston.
Yep.
Well, yeah, thanks.
They
Ben.
should be called the Boston Revolution. That would be an awesome name for
It
a
would
soccer
be much
team.
better.
But New England Revolution, because dude, it drives me nuts. Boston Revolution would be such a sweet name for a soccer team because of the T.
Either way, I think we'll score 3 and they will score 1, and then that's usually when that happened. That's the score you're getting. So I don't have a whole lot.
Surprised you're not a professional talker.
For the listener who's been tuned in for 2 hours and 24 minutes,
Will Sands probably going to get hurt.
This is
because
why you
he's playing.
stick around. This is why you stick around.
Yeah, Will Sands probably going to get hurt himself on the turf.
Man, I forgot
Diaz,
on that team.
Porter.
Yep. I also predicted that Luis Diaz is going to dribble down off all the way down to the end line and just cross the end line a couple of times.
He's gonna have 6 shots, 0 on target.
Yes, something like that. So
2 go out for a throw-in.
Yep. So we keep flying.
That's a good joke.
I like it. Okay. Trey, you say 1, 2. Choppa the trees, man.
It's a Boston Jamaican accent.
Oh.
So it's like Choppa the trees. Yeah. Come on.
Choppa the hat, my man.
Because they're known as the trees. Their New Jerseys are trees because that's what they have in New England.
Oh, that's right. They have those green. Is that their home jerseys?
I am not sure.
Might be.
The blue ones might be their
I
home.
don't know. Are we talking about like fall?
Surprised they didn't just outfit them in some empty
They're like
boxes
conifers
because they have so many empty boxes up there. Hawes, you said 03 Crew. Suck it, Porter.
You think it's going to be 3-0?
Yes, I do.
Is that the person you're imagining?
You sure about that? That's why.
Porter is Hawes's hall pass.
Matan is not playing, right?
Sands didn't play in the first game, and he wasn't on the bench, so I don't know what the deal with that is.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at that. I thought it was Sands.
So who are you? Go Porter.
And Porter only made 1 sub that game, and it was Luis Diaz, which is bananas. He looks at his bench like, you know who I need to win this game? Luis Diaz.
Luis.
I forgot. Luis.
That's what Nancy said when he skied the shot.
Yeah,
right?
Luis just laughed. He's like, I gotta get this guy off the books.
If he was only good at soccer.
If he was only good at soccer.
Yeah.
Luis.
Can somebody meme that?
Hey, by the way, talking about players that I do not follow after they leave the crew.
Oh, 100%. I didn't even realize he was on the team. Yeah.
You don't? Is there something wrong with me that I'm like following all these people?
Yes.
Well, we also just sign into like FOTMob, and FOTMob you can just like click like follow a player, and it like they let you know. So
no, I
he's
go in
still
and
on
type
New
their
England.
full name in.
Will Sands.
You do a Google
Still
search
on
on Luis Diaz every week.
Is there something wrong with me that I'm a creep and I follow people?
I follow both.
I follow grown men. That's
Diaz's.
just kind of what I do.
Only athletes.
I said O2 Crew Girl Crew. I've changed my tune.
You picked a side.
Yeah. I think we're gonna win. I don't think Porter's gonna make it happen. So O2. I went back and forth. I actually was considering the 0-1, the 1-0 score line that was so oft eluded eluded us in 2023, but it's going to be
we
O2.
did it like 5 times in a row or something like that.
In last year, yeah.
Okay. We don't have CCC games for a while still, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I think that's it. We got it. We're going to, and then next week after that New England game we mentioned, I think earlier, we have a CCC game on the following. That's a Tuesday, the 4th.
Yeah. It's either going to be LAFC or Colorado. Right.
Yeah.
And so currently Colorado has the edge.
2-1.
We'll put out a predictions tweet, or what do you call it on Blue Sky?
Yeah, we will send something out. How about
send
that?
something out, and then we've got some new wristbands we're going to be sending out.
We did share some of these, and by the way, if there's anybody we forgot to mention from yesterday, man, we met so many people between the toast, the run, the bar, the game, Betty's. Whatever else. What a great time. So if we forgot to mention you, we appreciate you all.
Love you.
So
thank you so much for making it a fantastic adventure and not a nightmare for me. Everybody was really awesome, and once again, a huge shout out to Courtney from Nordeck, and Emily Keg. I know we're working with her on a few other projects. It was great seeing everybody. Crewsmas, it was what it should be.
Much success, and we won. Whew.
Right,
4-2. Let's go.
Amen.
So, Toast and Trot next year for sure.
Yeah, I think we're gonna double our numbers.
Yes, that's the goal. The goal is to get at least 50 people sign up next year. We will be putting out signs in terms of where you're supposed to turn, so that you know where you are going.
We are new. We don't know what to do.
We try things.
2000.
I'm new.
Let's partner with Columbus Running Company. Maybe that will figure.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, the Run Club is probably the coolest thing that we do, and just the genuine interactions from everybody excited about it is fantastic.
Here.
Do it.
Let's keep it up. And in a week we'll play against Porterball, and I cannot wait. Until then, go Crew.
Love you.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew! What do you tell him? Get out there and score a goal for every G in my name. Something like that.